Growing potatoes is so much fun, but if you have a small space to work with, you may not think that you have enough room. But I'm Christy Wilhelmi from Gardenerd, and today I'm going to show you how you can grow potatoes vertically. Vertical gardening is a completely wonderful space-saving modality, a way of growing things stacked up on top of each other instead of all spread out. Not all vertical gardens are created equally, and one of the reasons why I really like this Greenstalk is that it is a deep soil base. All of this is soil, and it's not just a pocket where you stick something in, and it is actual soil, so it's not hydroponic, and so it makes growing potatoes and other tubers really great because the entire base is full of soil. It's not just one little spot. And when you have deep soil like this, these are the perfect conditions for growing potatoes. The first thing you need to do is prep your seed potatoes. Seed potatoes are little potatoes that have sprouts on them that are at least a ½ inch long, and preferably 2 eyes or sprouts per potato piece. That can take several weeks, but if you happen to have some lying around that have sprouted, you can use them. Now, I will say it is a good idea to start with certified disease-free seed potatoes, but if you are planning to not grow another Solanaceae in your container or vertical garden for at least 3 years, you can use your own. I have other videos that explain why disease-free seed potatoes are really important. I'm not going to do that here. The next thing we need to do is start taking this thing apart and prepping the soil for planting. It's a good idea to let your Greenstalk dry down a little bit so it's not so heavy. When it's got water in it, it's much heavier. But this pops right off. And the top tier is planted with strawberries, so we're just going to leave that one and clean it up a little bit. This one has a couple of spaces for potatoes, and then all of these are empty, so I'll be using those for real. All right, now we're ready to prep this. Take off the water trough, and this is all pretty loose, but it's also low. You can see the soil level is fairly low, so I need to add some new soil and some fertilizer to this before we plant. You can use a hand trowel to loosen up the soil that was in there. This is pretty friable, so I'm not too worried about it. This is also pretty dry, so I know I'm going to have to water this really well. But you can see that the soil level is low, so I'm going to pour a bunch of new soil in here. You don't want to cover this, but I want to get it full. I'm going to add more soil to this so that it's all the way to the top, but after I plant my potatoes. Next, mix in some organic veggie fertilizer. And now mix this all together so that you get that new soil down in each pocket area. If you want, you can dump out the soil into a trough or a wheelbarrow, mix this all together in there, and then refill your layers. All right, we're ready to plant. It's time for planting these little baby potatoes. You can see these have plenty of eyes on them. They're not too long. I do have some that are too long, but this is going to work really, really well in this Greenstalk. So the first thing we do is dig a hole that is about 6 inches deep, which is this, because this is so deep, there's plenty of room to do this. 6 inches deep. I'm going to throw another handful of compost and just a pinch of fertilizer into here. And then place the potato with the eyes pointing up and bury it. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 petals on this planter. I'm going to plant a potato in 3 of them because we don't want this to get overcrowded. The foliage will fill in the space and make it look really full, and then we'll have enough room underground for these potatoes to grow as they wish. Now all I have to do is repeat the same thing with these 2 layers and we're done. Once you've done the bottom tier, it's time to put it back together. There we go. This is fairly easy to do without help. You may need help for the top tier. And it's a good idea to wait to water it until you've got it all back together. There we go. All back together. And now, put the watering part back in, like so. Here. And you're ready to grow potatoes. If you've been looking for the perfect vertical gardening system, I have to say I am a big fan of the Greenstalk garden for all the reasons I mentioned. Full base of soil, deep soil, area, and it grows potatoes and a whole bunch of other stuff in a very small footprint. You can also, as you water this, rotate it on a base, and so you can get equal sunlight all the way around, which is another feature I really like about this particular system. We are affiliates. You can use our link below to get your own and use our code to get a discount. And that's it. All you have to do now is water and wait and feed at least once a month to make sure these potatoes grow big and strong. We'll check back at the end of the season to show you how these turned out and to harvest them. For now, subscribe to the Gardenerd YouTube channel so you can get a notification when that video comes online, and consider becoming a Patreon subscriber to support all the free stuff that we do here at Gardenerd. Be sure to check out my books, my online courses, and all the free stuff at Gardenerd, where you can learn how to grow potatoes in vertical gardens and so much more. Happy gardening.